Currently in our area, 52 degrees under clear skies. Today, sunny to partly cloudy. High 75. West-northwest winds shifting to northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low 53. Winds north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tuesday, partly cloudy in the morning. Mostly cloudy with showers in the afternoon. High 62. Chance of rain 70%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's about 19 minutes past the hour. Let's talk travel here on AMHQ. First stop is the GW Bridge in New York City, the George Washington Bridge. Looking busy as always. There is some rain starting to move in. It hasn't been falling too heavily just yet in the New York City area. Boston, we've been getting rain though already, and this is a live look at I-95. It is warm. It is kind of muggy out there this morning. Temperatures are in the low 70s, and we got dew points up there into the low 70s as well, especially around the New York City area. So expecting a murky start to your day. That doesn't bode well at the airport, Kelly. Even if it's not raining, I think these low clouds might cause some delays here. What do you think?
I think you're right, Jen. We could see some delays in the Northeast later today. By the way, they're de-icing at Denver's airport right now with the snow coming down. Major delays are a possibility there. We're also going to keep on watching those airports in the Northeast. Places like Boston, where you have the chance for rain today as well. You could certainly make the delay board later on today. We did see some lengthy delays yesterday across the New York City airports, by the way, so definitely check ahead there. Thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast, including New Orleans, so moderate delays that are possible there. Otherwise, not too many issues in Atlanta. Just watch the storms. Every once in a while, there could be a ground stop depending on where they set up. All right, let's talk more about our first winter storm of the season, Jim.
All right, let's do that. That would be Aiden, and of course, you can see from the radar here that we've got some moderate snow coming on down, some of these enhanced areas. But what's really interesting is the temperature profile, okay? You go, Cheyenne's already at 30, Denver's at 33, on and off snow. But you go west toward Laramie and Rawlings, where we do have interstate closures and spots and accidents. Temperatures are 25 to 28 degrees, all right? Fahrenheit, obviously. So that 28-degree number is a magic number to me in terms of roads. Always remember that. And the easiest way to know if that's what's going on in your car is just look on your thermometer. Granted, it's not going to be perfect, maybe plus or minus a degree or two, but that's the temperature that we get really, real bad on the roads. So again, watch this moderate snow as it moves on in. We've already got issues on I-85, I-25. This is our first snow of the season for this corridor and through here. Even up into Golden, 31 degrees, 32 at Boulder right now. Not quite as cold yet, so it's going to have to snow for a little bit. The saving grace you've got is in a couple hours the sun's going to be up. All right, so we're going to see a little bit of help from that sun. Remember, it's an October sun; it's not a January sun, so that's going to help us out here a little bit. By 5, 6 o'clock, this event's going to be gone. Actually, by about 3 o'clock, so this will not be an issue in the evening commute. But in the meantime, what does this 3 to 5 inches of snow, especially once we get down out of the mountains to some of these trees that really haven't changed color yet or dropped their leaves, Jen Carf, right now, we could have some issues with power, certainly, and some tree damage.
I mean, the leaves are still on the trees. You see a great picture of all the aspens in the golden color. The leaves have not fallen yet. And plus, it's cold. A lot of folks going to see the first freeze of the season, like up here into the upper Midwest. We've got some frost advisories and freeze warnings that are up. Minneapolis, that includes you. So overnight tonight into tomorrow morning would be the time where you could get that cold. So, you know, it just hasn't been that cold of a start to the year. Not that this is necessarily early or late. We're sort of right on time, maybe a little bit late when it comes to that first freeze. Right now, temperatures are 34 in Bismarck. The coldest of the air is back across the Rockies. Denver, we're down at 33 degrees. The thing about the weather for us here in the Rockies and really from Wyoming into Colorado is that we're not going to warm up that much. So Denver, our temperatures are only going to peak in the mid-30s. That is well below our average. Our average high this time of year is in the upper 60s. We're only going 35. The record cold high temp for the day. So the chilliest it's ever stayed for an afternoon high is 39. We're going to break that. And we're going to be chilly again tonight, dropping down into the 20s in the Rockies. All right, let's talk more about how these cooler temperatures actually are helping out some of the fall color. What do you think, Kelly?
I think so. We've got a brilliant show going on right now in the upper Midwest. Some beautiful yellows right here in Graceville, Minnesota. I love the scene where you've got the fall foliage and then you've got any body of water helping to reflect that color. This shot from Graceville, Minnesota. And yes, a little bit of frost on the pumpkin out there this morning. It is definitely a cool start to the day. But again, those cool temperatures at night do help for the fall foliage. We are peaking right now in several areas across the Midwest where you see the orange leaves right here. This is where we are peaking. Nobody's past peak quite yet, so you can still get out the cameras and take some shots. In fact, we're not even just looking at patchy color across portions of the Ozarks right now. Nationally, we are looking at peak conditions across the Adirondacks, the Berkshires, the Catskills, looking gorgeous up there into New England, and plenty of color still here in the West, even though we do have snow still coming down in here as well, Jen.
The clash of the seasons. Yeah. All right, coming up, people in southern Mississippi are cleaning up after Hurricane Nate, and meteorologist Mike Seidel is in Biloxi with a look at the damage. Mike?
Good morning, Jen. Yes, the calm now after Nate rolled through here. It was a quick hitter. It was like a 4-hour thunderstorm or squall line that moved through here late Saturday night. We'll take a look back at the vivid pictures and check in on how windy it was. Next on AMHQ.
All right, the summer that doesn't want to end in the east, and now you have warm, humid air, compliments of Nate, working its way all the way up through New England. Today, a couple of big baseball games. The Yankees, of course, hosting the Indians. The Red Sox hosting the Houston Astros. Will they get it in? Winter Storm Aiden continues to work its way across the Rockies. We've already got closures on parts of Interstate 80 if you are heading west out of Cheyenne. And the eastern part of that, warm, humid air comes north. Upper level winds change direction. Oh, could we have some severe weather to talk about? Let's talk about it. All right.
I heard your New England coming out in that summer that's still hanging on. I heard the Boston summer.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I've seen some pretty nice colors up in Vermont in patches, but overall, the warm, humid air in these warm overnight lows are muting the color.
Dew points in the 70s are not good. You need those cool nights, right? You need those cool nights for the good color. That's not happening. It's Columbus Day weekend. Today is Columbus Day. Traditionally, this is the big one to go leaf viewing, right?
It is.
This weekend?
Yeah, this is a huge weekend.
Not this
year. Now we got parades in New York today.
In the rain.
Could have some wet weather to deal with.
Let's take you out to that. Nate's leftovers unleashing some tropical downpours out here, Jim.
Yeah, we're talking about a messy morning for folks that they're having to work today in the Mid-Atlantic region of the Northeast. Muggy Columbus Day from Pittsburgh to Washington, and both cities will get a break tomorrow. But more rain should roll in by midweek, Jen.
Yes, next front. So we don't really get to clear out into that nice autumnal October weather this week here. It stays pretty warm all week. Now, we start the day warm at 75 degrees with rain in D.C., raining all across Pennsylvania, and then we've got the rain spreading across New York State, getting into southern New England as well. Through today, it's really a steadier and heavier rain this morning with showers lingering into the afternoon. That's, in a nutshell, what's going to happen. You know, looking specifically at your forecast, New York City, we're in it at least through lunchtime. Pittsburgh, though, we're drying out into the afternoon. We're not clearing out, and there's still the chance for a couple of showers. That same kind of thing will happen even into Philly and D.C. into the evening, but there are, much less in the way of shower activity later today than there will be early in the day. Rainfall will add up. There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. Yesterday we were talking about record amounts of precipitable water in the south, and that kind of air, in fact, that air itself has been traveling up here to the northeast. So 1 to 2 inches of rain is a possibility. Locally, 2 to 3, maybe across western New York, where you guys have been in the heavy rain already, and that's going to continue. All right, Jim, this is for you. We've got the Houston Astros and the Red Sox. We've got temperatures in the 70s with rain. So
I wonder if they postpone that or they move it to tonight, just play later, because we know the rain's going to move through, right?
As long as they have the space.
That's a possibility. Yankees also playing at 7. Their rain should be just about over them. Once again, people in another part of the country are cleaning up after a direct hit from a hurricane. Hurricane Nate, which made landfall, of course, on Sunday morning along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Its second landfall in Biloxi. Meteorologist Mike Seidel was right there. He was the eye guy. Mike, what kind of damage have you seen from this?
Outside of the beach, limited damage, very little, if any. We saw some trees down yesterday, a couple of boats on the coast, but all the power's back on, and everything is pretty much back to normal. They got US 90 open by sundown yesterday. They had overwatch, and they had to get the sand out with the heavy loaders. Let me take you back about 36 hours to right here. This is just before midnight on Saturday night, and look at the wave action and the surge as we took the eye wall and then the eye about 12:30 here in Biloxi. Winds gusted to 71 miles an hour. So we had a pretty good blow here. And then as quickly as the water came in, it went back out. Now down towards Point Cadet, this is where the casinos are, and they are built to handle surge because they're very low, very susceptible to a storm surge flooding. The Golden Nugget took most of the water there on the first level of the parking garage. It was a couple of feet deep. And again, by 4 or 5 a.m., that had all went back into the Gulf of Mexico. Yesterday, a couple trees down, chainsaws out, and all the power, as I mentioned, is now back on. As far as top wind gust, 75 miles an hour, Calvert, Alabama, the only hurricane-force wind gust. Mobile up around 60. Rainfall totals over 8 inches in Crestview. That's the top number from Nate. It was moving so fast that cuts down on the overall rainfall totals. Here in Biloxi, Keesler, we had 4.5 inches of rain. And Jim, our top wind measurement during the eye wall was sustained 53 gusts to 71. So that is basically a mid-range tropical storm, even though officially it came in as an 85-mile-an-hour Category 1 hurricane.
Mike, I won't even ask you if you thought it was going to be, if it was a hurricane when it came in, because I think you just answered my question. All right. Yeah, I can't wait to see. This is one of these storms where, the Hurricane Center will go back and do reanalysis after the storm, and they will take a look at everything in the data, and they could potentially make some changes. I'd be shocked if they left it at 85. I can tell you that right now. I was shocked when it was still 85 coming in. All right, so here we go. Looking at showers and thunderstorms. Some of this pretty heavy rain, lots of warm, humid air coming in unleashed out ahead of a cold front here. Still kind of one of the rain bands, if you will, or some of the moisture from Nate certainly is still a possibility here. Hey, Atlanta, you may not be done with the rain. We'll see how far north this gets. It's kind of creeping up toward the airport right now. This could actually cause some delays, certainly, with some low ceilings and heavy rain falling through here. So this is something to watch if you're heading in and out of Atlanta today. Birmingham, you could get into this as well. So with a soaking rain yesterday, looks like another round possibly today. Good news, Kel, it's been dry for a while, so the creeks and streams will take this rain.
We needed it.
Yeah.
Well, it's been 6 weeks since Hurricane Harvey hit Texas. The cleanup continues. We'll talk about the lessons learned.
We check travel conditions at 40 past the hour as always. Hey, let's take a look at the I-90 corridor. This goes across New York. The Thruway, as it's called, I-90 here from Buffalo to Albany, New York. You're seeing some heavy rain in spots. That's for sure. You can see both the roads are wet in through here. This is tropical rain, guys, and that's why temperatures are in the 60s, both on the thermometer and also on the dew point. Okay, you've got very, very warm, humid air out ahead of this cold front. So it's kind of a nasty day in through here. Just want some nice blue skies and some fall weather, Kel. Give me some crisp mornings. Come on.
Hey, blame it on Nate. Nate is the system that is giving us the cloud cover and the rain that we are experiencing on a Monday morning, too. I know it's rough enough going back to school and work, but then you've got to use the windshield wipers as you're traveling through Syracuse. New York City, you are waiting on the rain. It is creeping in, though, and you can see we do have the rain going on right now at Washington, D.C., Baltimore. It is cloudy right now. We're likely to see some heavy downpours as we go through the next couple of hours. Possible delays at the airports. Definitely check ahead if you're flying through Kennedy, LaGuardia, Newark. Showers over towards Boston, and hopefully not interfering with the playoff games going on in Boston and New York. But there is a chance that we could see some downpours at times. Jim and Jen, over to you.
All right, before storms hit, the Weather Channel is always committed to warning viewers of impending danger. But we know that once the storm is over, for many, the disaster is just beginning. And we are committed to telling those stories.
And with 4 landfalling hurricanes in the U.S. in the past 6 weeks, this hurricane season is providing many sobering lessons about being prepared for the worst. As Conchetta Callahan shows us, some people in Houston are vowing to never be caught off guard after what Hurricane Harvey did to them.
Houston is prone to flooding. The city's still recovering from the record rains Hurricane Harvey dumped nearly a month and a half ago. If there's anything Holly Davies has learned over the years, it's the importance of being ready for nature's chaos.
And make sure you have your 3 to 5 days of food and water, and that your pets have their 3 to 5 days of food and water, that you have a little cash stashed away and medications and everything you'll need.
Davies founded the CERT team in her subdivision. CERT stands for Community Emergency Response Team. The program educates volunteers about disaster and prepares them for the hazards that may impact their area. Small businesses are proving the value of preparedness too. Three Brothers Bakery has flooded before, and during Harvey, they took in nearly 5 feet of water, forcing them to close for 17 days. Now, a month later, Three Brothers is open again while shops around them remain closed.
I suggest all businesses go out and find a restoration company that they feel comfortable with.
Go to ready.gov and prepare your disaster kit for whatever section of the United States you you live in.
Have that ready, and Davies says you'll be one step ahead when help finally reaches your neighborhood.
There's no way of telling how bad it's going to be or to ever plan for something like this. But experts say you can always be prepared to plan for the worst. Conchetta Callahan, The Weather Channel.
All right, so you notice Conchetta ended on the big debris pile there. Let's take a look. This is just one of the landfill areas around Metro Houston with debris from Hurricane Harvey. I mean, look at how high that is, Jen. There's so much debris here.
That's in the Port Aransas area. Yeah. I mean, it's just a large area affected too, right?
You're right. That's from the the main part of the hurricane.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now the goal set by Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner is to have all the hurricane debris cleaned up no later than Thanksgiving.
All right, Cal, what's coming up this weekend? More cleanup.
Oh, yeah, more cleanup. Of course, Florida still recovering from Irma as well. We'll stay on top of that story in Puerto Rico as well. But here's a look at today's weather. Great looking weather for football later tonight at Soldier Field. But then we do see a system moving into Chicago on Tuesday with a chance for severe weather, by the way, in the southern parts of Illinois, getting very close to Beale Street in Memphis. Damaging winds, hail, that's going to be your main problem there. Showers will head through the southeast as we go into Wednesday, but drying out and cooling down behind this next system, hopefully clearing out some of that tropical moisture that is in place in the wake of Nate. And we do have the cooler temperature showing up here by the end of the week. Here we are Friday with the 60s around, cloudy skies though, chance of rain in New York on Saturday, and then on Sunday looks a little bit better for you in the Northeast, Jen.
All right, so coming up this morning, it may be fall, but parts of the Rockies are set for a winter welcome. And that's where we find reporter Janelle Klein this morning. Janelle.
Yeah, surprising to see the snow coming down, but here it is. Denver bracing for a messy commute this morning with the first storm of the season. We're live in downtown Denver, and we'll have the very latest for you coming up as coverage on the Weather Channel continues right after this.
Good morning from the beach here in Biloxi, Mississippi. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel. Hurricane Nate is now history, but did you know that we had 9 consecutive tropical storms become hurricanes? Boy, that's almost unheard of. We'll come back and take a look back at what we saw here as we took the eye wall and the eye late Saturday night and early Sunday morning. Meanwhile, Janelle, you're out there in the snowflakes in Denver. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Yeah, very different scene here in downtown Denver. You can see the snow coming down. This is the first big winter storm of the year, Aiden, pummeling Denver this morning. Commuters having a tough time of it already with some wet streets and slick freeways out there. We'll have the very latest from Denver when we come back.
Still dealing with a ton of Nate's moisture this morning. That leads our tropical discussion here at 50 past, but is now post-tropical storm Nate. The problem is it's going to make for a messy Columbus Day for many and potentially impact a couple of pretty big baseball games in New York for the Yankees and the Indians, and Boston, of course, at 1 o'clock today as they host the Houston Astros. Nice healthy rain here. Crestview, Florida, Dixon, Alabama, almost 7 inches there. Anna Ruba Falls, Georgia at 5.48. There was some flooding, but not a lot, because remember, we were talking about the pre-existing conditions with this being mainly dry, so that is good news. We still have this monster subtropical ridge out and through here at the surface, and the flow around this is still banging waves against the Florida coastline and then bringing a pretty strong flow coming in out of the south into the Gulf of Mexico. As a matter of fact, you can see that on our current winds at either a buoy or along those local stations. Look at Pensacola, 21 miles per hour. That is the current wind, not even the gust, and that is helping to keep the water very, very high. So there's still a surge, if you will, or a rise in the water as a result of that onshore flow. And look at New Orleans this morning, 2.3 feet. So that's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Needless to say, waves are still going on. Still got a heck of a chop out there. Not a great time to be in the water. The beaches didn't fare too bad in many, many spots, but still, the dangerous surf conditions in through here will keep you out of the water, unfortunately. All right, so post-tropical storm Nate, and what is this? Yeah, we got a new tropical depression in the Atlantic. The good news is this isn't going to bother anyone but the fish. If you look at this, the actual center is out here, and you can see all the convections on the east side. So it's heavily sheared, but there's definitely a low-level spin. This could become a tropical storm, and if it does, it will get the name Ophelia. We'll see where this is on Saturday and what it is, but I don't know. I think it's probably not going to bother the Azores too much. We'll keep an eye on it. Jen, over to you.
All right, we all chuckled at your, what is this? Your always true excitement when it comes to the weather. All right, let's take a look, though, at the exciting weather this morning in Colorado, where winter storm warnings are up, winter weather advisories surround. And Denver, we are in it. We're going to get some snow. In fact, the snow has already started to fall this morning as temperatures drop down to about 33. Now, your dew point, 31. So it's cold enough to get that snow down. It's not going to stick just yet, but I think we are going to get accumulation there in Denver. We're calling for it. We're calling for a couple of inches of snow actually to affect us during the morning commute. The tough timing here. Already seen some closures up around Rawlins and Laramie in Wyoming. Then into Colorado, no closures, but watching impacts on the interstates like I-70 and I-25. And then watching that through the afternoon farther south into New Mexico. We'll see some snow there as well, but the snow wrapping up for us around the Denver area by later today. This really is a morning event for us. The chill in the air, though, stays around. So not to say that when the snow ends, the travel conditions and the issues that could go with that are going to go away, because we still have temperatures that are going to hang out in the 30s, dropping to the 20s overnight tonight. Kelly?
Yeah, below average for Denver this time of the year. Certainly an early snow for us as well, and feeling more like the low to mid 20s if you factor in that little bit of a breeze we've got going on. Janelle Klein joins us live from Denver. Something about that first snow of the season, though, Janelle, it really is pretty.
It is beautiful. I tell you, it's kind of a shock to see this. I don't know. It feels like we blinked and all of a sudden we have winter here. But as you said, it is gorgeous and probably not as much so pretty for people who are getting out on the roads this morning, though there are going to be some concerns with the commute. We are here just west of downtown Denver. You can see behind me I-25. Traffic moving pretty good right now, but definitely as you get out there, you can see some of the slick spots on the road. This rain overnight turning to snow now, as you can see, and there's a lot of slush in certain areas on the road, and certainly those secondary roads a lot more slippery. So definitely something to watch out. And as you guys know, with that first snow of the year, a lot of people just not used to driving in this. It takes a bit to get used to it. This will not be just confined to Denver. We are also seeing the same storm system moving through Fort Collins, through Boulder, through Castle Rock. So this is definitely encompassing greater Denver and beyond. And this will stick around until about 3 p.m. that winter storm warning in effect. But as you guys said, those cold temperatures will continue. We'll hover in the 30s all day. And then, as you said, Kelly, dropping down into the 20s tonight. So definitely our first taste of winter here in Denver.
Yeah, de-icing at the airport. Check ahead. There could be some delays there as well. Janelle, thank you so much.